all students. Today we start the next method of basic manufacturing processes, which is nothing but the shearing process. The shearing process is also known as die cutting. It is a process which cuts stock without the formation of chips. Isn't it? The shearing operations include blocking, piercing, slitting and trimming. So these are the various operations as far as the shearing is concerned. By using this process, you can manufacture the file cabinets, car bodies and as well as the beverage cans. The next process is welding process. What is a welding process? As you all know that generally when you understand about any manufacturing process, this is the common word. You will be observing on roadsides, few people are what you call doing these welding operations. Generally, welding kind of manufacturing process means here, which is a fabrication process that joins the materials. Usually, what kind of things you can join here? Metals, thermoplastics and other kinds of things. Here the process which can be used for welding is nothing but the cold sense process. Okay, so the main operation or the main purpose of what you call the welding is joining the metals or thermoplastics. There are different types of welding operations are there, like fusion welding and solid state welding, brazing and soldering. So let us discuss about fusion welding. In the fusion welding, this operation is performed by means of what we call high heat. Okay. Here the filler material may or may not be used. Do you know what is filler material? So whenever two metals are going to be joined, just like gum or adhesive, one more metal will be what called applied. So this is called filler material. Through this fusion welding, we can have what called arc kind of welding and high energy beam welding, because these are the different types of fusion welding. The next one is solid state welding, which is nothing but in which joining takes place without the fusion. So in the fusion, what is there? Nothing but we are using high heats to what we call join the metals. The metal surfaces can be joined here by actually bringing the metals into close to each other, and after that what happens, there will be creation of what we call so much heat and the metals are going to be joined. So here melting kind of process will not take place. So while applying this solid state kind of welding, high pressure will be applied. The examples are fraction welding, resistance welding, ultrasonic welding and expulsion welding kind of types. So these are all different types of welding types, like fusion welding, where filler material will be used and melting activity will be considered. The next one is the solid state welding. Here melting activity will not be there. Actually two metals are joined by bringing the two metal sheets closer to each other by applying high pressure. Okay. The next kind of welding types comes what we call brazing and soldering. Here the joining process will be happen by using filler materials, and as well as the temperatures here are going to be normal to low temperatures. So this is one more kind of what we called welding. So what we call this one as brazing and soldering type. The best examples are while manufacturing electronic items and chips. So you will be observing this kind of process. The technician will be joining that electronic components like IC integrated circuit and other kinds of things by means of what is called a low temperature applied, what I would say that one as a heater, and he will be what is called putting some kind of material, you call that one as the lead. It will be in terms of a coil. So the lead melts and that fluid comes down onto that particular electronic part and it solidifies. So by that what happens, that item is going to be stick to that particular area. So like that, if you think, the welding is a very basic operation as far as manufacturing operations are concerned. The next process is shearing process. So what is shearing, which is also known as die cutting? In this process what happens, the stack will be cut into pieces without forming any chips or having any burn or melting process. The best examples for shearing process are file cabinets, car bodies manufacturing, and beverage cans. You will be observing. Okay. So under shearing operations what happens, there are so many sub operations will be taking place, like what you called blarking, piercing, slitting and trimming. So hence shearing is considered as one of the best manufacturing operations as far as the production and operations management is concerned. The one more very important basic operation of what we call manufacturing is nothing but extruding. Okay. So under this process what happens, which is nothing but it's a bulging kind of process. Actually through this process the objects of what called can be created of wanted size. I mean to say here the prefixed cross sectional profile. Okay, what is a cross sectional? The wanted kind of length, breadth and hollowness. Here generally what happens, a material will be pierced into the what you call the particular area, and the best examples for extrusion kind of manufacturing is nothing but the tubes and as well as the rods. The next basic manufacturing process is nothing but heat treating. Here actually the metals are going to be heated to certain fixed temperature to high end. By heating like that, the metals are going to acquaint few wanted kind of characteristics, isn't it? So this actually helps to improve the machinability of the metals, and also which allows them to create the wanted kind of resistance and sustain to the wear and tear and as well as the heat corrosion. So this is the actual purpose of the heat treatment. There are different types of heat treatments are there, like annealing heat treatment, and one more is what you called hardening of kind of heat treatment. So what are the best examples for annealing treatment? You get iron bars, and with the one more thing you'll have what you called different kind of equipments. So under annealing heating, so which is nothing but is a process generally used to soften material by heating followed by slow cooling. Under hardening, it requires heating and then rapid cooling in oil, water. Okay. The last kind of basic manufacturing procedure is nothing but unconventional machining. Here actually the metal need not to be what you called hardness, toughness, brittleness. Okay, it can produce intricate shape by means of what you called operations. There are different types of unconventional machinings are there, like laser beam machining, electronic beam machining, and abrasive jet machining, electrical discharge machining. So these are completely basic manufacturing operations.